Radio Democracy will talk to the Human Resource Manager na Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board, Ibrahim Bangura. We can talk about the legal service where they don't begin at the country for about 10 years now, where they don't exist. And at this time, I want to say good morning to you and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and good morning to listeners out there.
Okay, as Unaye, the name Legal Aid Board be passed through the Act of Parliament inside 2012, and the organization be officially start their mandate inside 2015. And some of the role as Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board now for provide legal assistance, promote access to justice, advocate for human rights. How they don't do their work from 2015 to now, as they become 10 years officially inside May 15 this year. The reason way to make we get with studio guests this morning where they can take with listener and via them through Legal Aid Board Sierra Leone. Anything new you want to add to the introduction? Or
I think the introduction proper. Mina Ibrahim Bangura Esquire.
Okay.
Mina lawyer na Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board, and as you rightly say, mina the Human Resource Manager.
So now on our mandate provide legal assistance promoting access to justice. But take me through pass through the Act of Parliament inside 2012 and start official operation 2015. How the journey of Legal Aid Board will start like doing the time day?
Okay, the Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board na a bath of one of the recommendations and we be the inside the TRC report after the Rebel War. We people began for testify, say, then take to arms, then take arms, fight because of injustice at the time. The inequality where people let me they face at that time, saying they not get access to justice. So in light of that, Parliament in its wisdom decide for establish the Legal Aid Act inside 2012.
Okay, we talk about inequality. In which aspect exactly?
Well, you then in the person we not get money, we not person, we not able to access lawyer. In your estimation, they feel to say if you don't go to a trial, a court trial or judicial process unrepresented, and at the end of the day, then get for convict them. So in your estimation, they feel to say that was unfair. So people be careful to testify to that effect day. So one of the recommendations that Legal Aid Board for day they provide free legal advice, assistance or representation to people and we inside the law we refer them, to them as indigent Sierra Leoneans. That is to say they're not able to afford for hire the services of a private legal practitioner.
Okay. In your opening just now, you just don't make mention of how the Legal Aid Board be established through an act of parliament as a result of recommendations and from the TRC, and where they be get engagement with certain set of people and say them feel like say, they don't deny them justice because they don't get the resources for hire private lawyer for represent them in a court. So the question I'm going to ask now, how far I don't can 10 years back for bridge that gap, they for give representation to people who are able to afford them?
Of course, we don't come a long way, and we start operations effectively since 2015. And I can tell you, say, since 2015 to now, we don't provide legal representation or assistance to over 2 million Sierra Leoneans. And it speaks volume because if we are talking about over 2 million Sierra Leoneans, it goes to show that the Legal Aid Board has done everything within its power and it work within a mandate for ensure say people them out there we not able to hire the services of a lawyer. We fall within the bracket of people them we the act referred to as indigent Sierra Leoneans they adequately get legal representation and legal advice or assistance.
In your words again, you say 2 million are able to give them access to legal service for
yes, over 2 million.
It's over 2 million.
Yes.
And 10 years time, even though somebody go say that one day, na a huge step that one day. But again, the question we go to play in the mind of plenty people now they listen to you speak now. Now one we get for do it. I want to go about for select people and more for representing a court.
Okay, the board get the independence, it get the act provide for let the board determine that one day. The board, they do the determination, because firstly you get for apply for legal aid, and then we get for scrutinize you, make sure say you fall within the bracket, or you really fit and proper for be declared as an indigent person. And chief among the other things that we'll get for look at now, you earning power, how you dey earn, if you na person way they below the minimum wage, and we get other sets of criteria and we'll watch, we at the end of the day will qualify you for make we put you as part of the class of Sierra Leoneans, and we qualify for get the service.
When you talk about class of Sierra Leone and we forget legal aid board and service, what are them exactly where they refer to?
The poor people. The
poor
people and we not able to afford the services of the private legal practitioners. And
so looking at legal aid board and giving a service, either be on a day part of government, in any way one can try for coordinate and get proper understanding of cases them we wanna intervene on for ensure say despite on our promote justice and equal rights, but on also no give reason to people why them for the involving things them way wrong at the same time.
Of course we do that. We the partner with other justice sectors them, like the Sierra Leone police and other justice sectors them. So for ensure say we need to give a wrong impression out there to the class of people that we legally they provide service for. We need to give legal aid to twice to a Sierra Leonean or an indigent person. That is to say, after we don't provide legal aid, maybe in the form of representation at court for you, and they will see say you they out of trouble, we can call you, counsel you, talk to you on the essence of good behavior and on the essence of going back to society and respect the law. And then if you breach that one day, you find yourself you conflict with the law again, then we not go provide again legal aid for you.
Aside the poor people where you don't talk about, let we listen and view them get a proper understanding. We know the steps where legal aid board they follow before they say this case they want take up. I cannot try for investigate first like a background and decide say wanna go forward. This na a case of una interest.
Yeah, we get class of cases them way in our priority, and then we get some other case them way we not go say no to we interest, but they not go there of in terms of we preference compared to other cases them. Like for example, you get cases like for the civil cases, you get cases of maintenance we involve picking them, child maintenance, and then spousal maintenance as well. For example, under the laws of Sierra Leone, we provide for layman, provide maintenance for in wife. That one day as well, it fall within we mandate for pursue. If we don't try what we call we alternative dispute resolution mechanism, and then it not work, so we can at the end of the day provide legal representation to the vulnerable set of Sierra Leoneans in there.
Okay, so again, you know, they provide legal representation for people, more especially the one unable to afford them. In a situation where you don't ever abuse, they provide legal service for both the defendant and the accused in a situation where both parties unable to afford the resources for get possible to represent them at court.
Well, in the true sense of the representation, what we they do, and we serve the follow all ethical standards. We can't have a situation where we represent the defendant and the complainant, because here is a situation: you have the complainant on the one hand and the defendant on the other hand, and then you are privy to information from both sides in this scenario now where you don't draw. So if you are to represent both of them, then you conflict yourself. It can't happen. So what we can do, we they assess the parties them, especially the one we bring can the complaint, because then you approach the board, bring can the complaint to assess the parties them, and then we provide legal aid for the most befitting one.
How will they determine that one day?
Yes, you get for go through scrutiny, we get for interview, you get for come in some instances you go count evidence for show say if you don't say usa the work or another job, or I mean me salary they below the minimum wage, then the burden they on you now for let you prove and say your salary they below minimum wage. Ordinarily, if somebody say I need a work, if there is no evidence to the contrary, say you they work, then that's the presumption, say you need a work. So we they assess the situation and they scrutinize you properly, and at the end of the day, if you meet the threshold, we provide for you.
Earlier on, you talk about the criteria for make somebody eligible for make able for get representation. You talk about one, they say somebody need to apply. I wanna look inside in case. How this application process look like? Considering the fact, say we get so many people in this part of the world, when you say about application, the traditional thing with the kind of the person in mind, that traditional system, take paper and pen, begin for fill them out.
Well, no, you no need for take paper and pen. You need for contact with offices. You need for come orally. You can come make what you call complaint. You can come to our offices and then you talk to we staff them they all over across all the offices. Them we they listen to the class of case we count. Firstly, if fall within the cases them we give ace to as a matter of priority, then key do further step and then refer you to the people that way they assess you, and then go get for determine whether or not you now that kind Sierra Leonean day we fit and proper for we give legal aid to.
And this again take me to the next question with regards to accessibility. We get people, for instance, for free to go say perhaps many people get access to a head office, but again we get other partners in the country where you take Kubola for instance. How somebody with they yonder they suffer injustice go before reach out to legal aid board?
Okay, in some other places, for example, this let's say Western area, not only head office no more. We get some communities. For some communities, we get what we call we bureaus them, and then bureaus and they themselves they listen to, complaints. And like for the Western area, we get two offices. We get one now at Alo. We head office, and across the region, like I say, we offices and they all over. And then in addition to that, we get paralegals them we they across the country. We can go from community to community. They do outreach activities. Then they educate members of the public, on the law. So it goes to show them paralegals and they where they go in our communities, villages, and the remote areas, and you can talk to anyone if you get challenges, and then can take you to your offices across the provinces.
Morning salon they continue with studio guests this morning. Now Ibrahim Bangwa from Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board. We don't take we through on our legal aid board don't they exist from 2015 to now as officially inside May then go 10 years. So over to you, Ibrahim. You don't talk about some of on a mandate we want providing legal assistance, and you don't get much in depth into that. Now we'll look at another aspect of legal aid board, promoting access to justice. From 15 years to now, how not only go about this?
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and like we don't they go about this, for ensure say equality day in we social structure when it comes to justice. So like I say, usually before now, you go hear people very wealthy people or people in way feel to say because they get money and then go seize advantage by poor people, and then they left so, and then they can ask poor people say if you know than me, that kind of thing they would area will be done the area. But then with Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board, it ensure say that poor person, that poor man way himself, he feel to say he entitled to justice in certain given circumstance. That person will get affluence pass and no go threaten or then kind talk, then they say, you know, that I mean, you know nothing. So this aspect of we they try for raise the poor person himself in terms of equality. We'll talk about justice. So it goes to show that before the law, the poor people, the rich people, they are equal. What it matter now? I mean, the case so they before the law. If the poor man get right, legal aid body ensure say that right the way it gets. I mean, it defend them to the end or to the bottom of it.
Okay, still inside the sugar for do providing aiding government or partners and for CC people as able get access to justice. Somebody will say this supposed to be we think they go for the poor man, same also for go for the rich man, but you seem like they pay more attention to the poor people. So the question again I want for asking now one we get for do with in a situation who say this person he is rich but he don't have a legal representation, perhaps he not satisfied with how they handle in case and he decide for turn to una they give a helping hand.
Well, it can really difficult in the given situation, and in fact, the fact say you demonstrate ability for hire a private legal practitioner, it speaks volume. Say at that stage they will not get, that kind will not get a mandate for make representation for you, because you get the resources. There are so many Sierra Leoneans out there with a need of legal aid. So that is why we need a mixed matters. If you don't go hire a private legal practitioner and then maybe he mess up your case and you not satisfy how the case they go, you can find another private legal practitioner. But if you approach we, because we contract lawyers them or partners them out there, we then self now private lawyers them, we can refer you to them. But for say we can provide service for you like how they provide for that poor man from start, then no.
Also how to got the line between the point they reach in your estimation?
Yeah, like I tell you, we get things then where they look at indicators and they chief among them na the earning power. If you know monthly you they earn, maybe then they pay you at the end of the month. If you they below the minimum wage, then you qualify.
Now the person they tell you that one day?
Yes. Now you they can give
the
information.
prove and beyond.
We get for prove and we get for ask you come with also the office so they will come with document them for sure say that they pay you this, or that. And then we get for interview you, assess you. And then if evidence not there to the contrary, then the presumption is what you telling us or what the evidence that you are presenting in support of your case, then that's the truth.
Also, on a representation, it starts from the police onto the court, on a court, no more.
From police station to court. In fact, even like I tell you at community level, also you get we bureaus them and then we paralegals them can go, from that level, and they now case them, then they begin listening them, then they begin talk some case them, Of course, police station level, we lawyers and kinde, paralegals and kinde as well, say the matter come from the lower court, go to the higher court.
What are normal type of cases when they get on a daily basis?
We get civil cases, we get criminal cases on a daily basis. Family disputes, married wahala, maintenance, access, custody, and then the criminal cases, of course, then frequent, offenses, like thief, cause, the cause now not can too pay attention to them, but thief, robbery with aggravation, murder, manslaughter, all sort of serious offenses.
So in line with the all sorts of serious offenses, take will listen and via them through in the area of the picking maintenance working between the woman and the man. So more highlight on that. How now they go about to deal with the issue then they?
Okay, like I tell you, access to justice, we not only believe in a courtroom, that they in most cases matters them for come to an end. If I really help for decongest the courts, for like cases them no two bokuna the courtroom, because we get we ADR system, the alternative dispute resolution. We can record the complainant, and then we know exactly what he can complain, and then we can extend invitation to the person who can make complaint against. So when once we don't extend invitation to them, we can give them dates, say una come on so date. They can come and the ADR get a panel, get expert lawyer, and then you get men of the world, experienced men of the world, and then they can listen on our cases them, they listen both sides, the facts of the case. Perhaps they talk something you want to witness, that they give on our listening ears. At the end of the day, they assess on our case them, and then they can make a decision at that stage. They say, the truth is now XYZ, this is the law, and then give una the necessary advice with them for give una. Say, Mr. Man, this is now you man, this is now you picking. Contest the fact say this picking not to me bona. Because there are cases where man they take care of picking on the basis that ain't no satisfy say na picking. You don't say na you picking and this na you man. The law say you for take care of the picking and you take care of your wife. So in light of that, you for they take care of him every month. So then he ask the man, you they work? He say yeah they work. Who say they work? How much then they pay you? For example, if they give all the information, then they for let the panel who they sit on the case, be armed with information for at the end of the day make a decision.
In line with legal aid board, they work in terms of providing legal assistance or promoting access to justice. You think so? Not really fair to everybody we knock on a door and request for a service without not look them belonging or anything.
We so fair to every client who they knock on the door. So fair. In fact, we client then get trust and confidence in we. Sometimes if for one reason or the other, that kind of thing exists where you will tell them, say, you know what, I think at this stage it go better we refer you to private lawyers. Some of them, they see the trouble, the torments in their life. Because I tell you for free, we lawyers them are top notch, because when it comes to quality legal representation, we are passionate about access to justice or promoting access to justice and the rule of law. So when it comes to quality legal representation, we lawyers them, nothing on a daily basis where we they get discussions on, and from time to time, the head of the institution with our executive director, they get a meeting with we, for ensure say we efficiency, not top notch.
So in terms of quality representation, definitely cost money. We'll say on a young client or the count on that the other people, say service they give totally free.
Yes.
So how
totally
are the balance for ensuring that the lawyer them where they represent on a client them, they get waiting in this because nobody need to give legal service to the private lawyer them for free. How are the balance? When are the agreement?
Okay, yes. I can tell you for sure say, to every success stories there are challenges. Of course the client then they pay anything. As I tell you, legal aid board government institution, it was established by an act of parliament, and then the government they pay the lawyers. Not to the clients, they can't pay the lawyer. The lawyers are being paid by the government of Sierra Leone. So if I tell you, say the client and they pay, it goes to show that the lawyers them they receive salary for what they are doing. Even though there has been challenges in terms of the salary or in terms of harmonization with other justice institutions but the lawyers them still they give quality representation when it comes to executing their task or duties.
As we talk, how many legal representatives don't again at that particular body?
You mean how the lawyers
Yes,
we
the
get? Yes, we get over 25 lawyers, say 26.
So as we talk, how many cases then on our decks?
Well, the cases them boku. Because if you talk about cases, I go take you right through from the ADR department, because then get boku case there. Then if you go to our offices from Freetown, you go down the provinces. When you go to our office, sometimes the population you see, you go past some hospitals, because people and they on a daily basis where they go through a lot, where na post-Iranians them, where they always in our offices. I remember very recently, there was this man we come na office when I cripple, they inside in bike, he come na office, and then he can't tell we say he don't raise resources for buy in bike we don't old and he not fit for use again. So he go na this shop, he don't pay half over I think 8 months or a year he dey pay half. But them don't agree really. The people holding at the shop tell him say pay no more, after you don't pay we will give you the bike where you want. But the bike where he pay for now then bike them way now button you the press and then now automatic something like that. So at the end of the day, this man don't try, he don't pay, he don't done everything. Then I don't know what happen, what not happen. The bike will then gam, it not be fit for purpose. It bring them to the knowledge say this bike need to work properly. It go time, then say yes the bike need to work properly, and then they refuse for return him on a gear. So at that case then they would get on a daily basis. We don't take up that matter day. We don't write the people. Firstly, the challenge self will be get for that case. By the time we begin write the people, they don't change address. They don't move who side MBD. They don't go other side unknown. So we begin the ask the man let go counting. He said, "Lord know the name," and then Lord they try for do some fishing expedition, or Lord they try for scouts and all. Because looking at the man, imagine somebody of that kind of nature how they raise money way they above 18 to 20 million for go pay for something way very important to them. So we don't take the matter as I say, we don't file, and then we don't serve the people that we concerned.
So I ask the question, how many lawyers I'm like, you see 25, and ask number of cases, then you say unable for mention now, but you say them boku.
Well, I not go say I not go able mention now. I just tell you say them boku.
So again, I want to allocate lawyers to a particular case.
Okay, yes, we get lawyers them we station na different courts then. For example, I talk about family matters, maintenance, access, custody, spousal maintenance, child maintenance. We get lawyer within that particular court. We get lawyer they do deal with juvenile matters. You get picking them way they in conflict with the law. Picking, you say picking don't go choke, picking don't go thief, picking don't do this. Them cases then they need to go in a court way that they try big person.
So you can build say one of our lawyer they get at least 10 to 15 cases now and
if you can
be say a single lawyer
they get like over 30 cases now
legal aid board. So that the question as to how don't they give better representation, because if it's a single lawyer they handle 30 or more cases.
I can give you example. Me when sit down they talk to you. So the first in this past treason trial we been just happen for the soldier there, now the court martial. When it started, I was represented 24 out of 27, now that court day. So just imagine a situation like that. Out of 27, I was represented 24 for a start. I did my best, gave my my all, because one thing about legal aid board, we lawyers them, yes, one can go to court, but then we will come, we can get this group discussions on case by case basis.
Okay.
So it goes to show, it doesn't matter if we represent 30 per lawyer, but then what it matter your dedication to the cases and how best you give quality representation to the client them.
Good morning, Salon. They continue, and from them, break and other inside on and only say they come over to we studio guest, where they continue to take on through on the role of legal aid board as they can all 10 years of existence in terms of their mandate. Over to you, Mr. Bangwa. You don't highlight different mandates of legal aid board. You don't talk about providing legal assistance and promoting access to justice. And I guess another important aspect also when advocating for human rights. In terms of advocating for human rights, within legal aid board mean in this aspect, and how do you go about this as well?
Of course, sorry. The Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board na a human rights institution. They always advocate for, the rights of citizens.
Continue.
Inside we Constitution, Chapter 3, where they talk about the fundamental human rights of citizens. Legal Aid Board no lose sight of that provision there inside we Constitution. And as such, we always they ensure say we advocate for protect human rights.
So how do they do this with citizens? Because as much as when they advocate, also they try for let citizens understand and know their responsibility.
Yes. So one way we can do not through we outreach programs them. We get outreach activities them where we get interface with citizens. And then we they educate them on the law as much as they get right their responsibilities as citizens, and the fact say they not for be seen as people and way they breach the laws them of we land way very sacrosanct. So on timely basis we they engage them, teach them the essence of respecting the law.
Still inside the question again for two, which way my colleague just asked this up to you on and human rights issues. We get one way very topical for now when are the safe motherhood and reproductive health care bill within our parliament. It get for do with right of perhaps I go say 3 sets of people, the daddy, the mama they carry the pregnancy and serve the picking with inside the belly. What on a position on that particular bill when it comes to human rights?
Well, honestly, we know. I'm not gonna say we get a clear position on that, but not losing sight of the fact. Say, I tell you when I say we are a human rights institution, we go say that the right of the woman where they get carrying pregnancy, we know for be blind to that, because inside we Constitution, the right to life, the right to the well-being of the person, and then so many other considerations them we get for consider before we pass a hasty judgment when it comes to this particular bill where they under review. So for example, I can say even though laws them, whether they pass them and whether they try for implement them, public interest now one thing we then can take into consideration. But I can say if this woman where they carry in pregnancy, say for example unwanted pregnancy, and then or pregnancy where now it come about as a result of rape, for instance, where there are so many things troubling the mind of this pregnant woman, and then you get somebody where don't go get affair with this pregnant woman, and then he get belly, and then he gets sick, for example. All of those factors them you consider. It's safe for say the law for compel that woman, they say power for carry that pregnancy, they say bonham. So those are some of the questions that we really need for the operate now. We mind them as we deliberate on that particular bill.
What about the situation with this person I married woman? There are no issues of sicknesses or complication, but because the things are not fit for carry the pregnancy at that time, you want for terminate them. And also the question coming with regards to the papa self-care right for the said as to waiting for do with that.
So every law, let me say this particular law, na law way a need for be thorough, and then a need for deal with all cases of uniqueness in nature. We know they look at one thing. the instance where you mentioned, so because in laws we have exceptions, you know, we can get a general law, you have exception, and then you have exceptions to those exceptions. You know, you can get a general law we go say, for example, woman we suffer rape, and the rape, you know, lead to pregnancy, and then that woman they solely can determine what for happen than pregnancy, they fair enough to that woman. And then woman we suffer rape, and then the man we rape are infected, and then as a result chances are that the pikin way they born himself go be infected. You don't understand? I mean, you get for example, sickle cell. I can give you, if man we get affair with woman, he gets a sickle cell. Me not a medical expert by the way, but I just dey think rationally. And then chances are that that pikin they then born he go suffer sickle cell for the entire life. You don't understand? So I mean, it go create more trouble to this woman with then rape. We first of all, you not giving consent for get that sexual intercourse, and then again for live the whole of in life. They watch in picking they suffer. So too trouble. So in that cases, then we feel to say, or me feel to say personally, the law for be holistic.
Okay.
You know, take a look at every given circumstance in this scenario or this case.
We don't talk so much on the activities of the board, and as we for celebrating our 10 years, I mean, what thing they happened so far with the celebration, and before that one day, you see when I don't attend to 2 million or provide legal service to about 2 million, I mean, people in the country. Among all the service and how many cases will be win, and how many cases will lose?
I tell you, say we deal with civil and criminal cases. So for the civil cases, I would say we get over 60% success rate. You know, when it comes to say for example, woman don't die, a man left property, family members they want can hang aid, say not for enjoy that property they, I mean, if I go out of the property and all, you know, or maybe perhaps I go say marital issues, and all other civil cases who success rate is over 60%. And then when you come to the criminal matters, then because to be honest with you, we did deal with the most serious criminal cases. You know, people and we are the vagabonds, you know, the rogues, the riffraffs, and people and we, I mean, then they out there for cause problem. You know, so then people in the way that they commit crime then are the most serious offenses in Kido. Murder, you know, robbery with aggravation and all. So in that kind of cases then we success rate, I mean, in terms of say in you what win, because when it comes to criminal matter actually we not too they look at winning or losing. You know, what thing we they look at now for ensure say fair trial happen. You know, the accused person, the presumption of innocence prevail. Say the law they look at first from investigation stage, take on a court, say he is innocent until and unless the person will make allegation or the state, the prosecution prove beyond reasonable doubt say he guilty of the offense for which he did before the court. So that in itself to we, I mean, we they ensure say the provisions of the constitution, you know, the judicial process follow them strictly, you know, or the litigation process follow them strictly. So if you get, for example, somebody who then say don't choke, you don't kill, you don't understand. We not just I mean an allegation. At that stage we they look at him say he is still an innocent man, you know, until and unless it go before a competent court of law, and then the prosecution adduce all forms of evidence for sure say yes he did 9-1.
Okay, so in all of legal aid board success story reform and things they wanna don't do as way for promote and increase access to justice, which you go highlight as some of on our main challenge and one don't get from 2015 to now.
Yes, we get challenges. You know, the challenges it come in form of first the human resource, you know, the personnel and the people and we forget we for make the workload reduce, you know, from some of we staff the aid. Very inside the same interaction I mentioned here, say we get a situation where one lawyer go deal with over 15, 20 to 25 cases, and in that situation, they say if we get more lawyers, then the workload will reduce and one lawyer in aid, and then files and you can able distribute and to other lawyers then also we get the challenge of this salary harmonization, where you compare with other justice institutions like the judiciary, like the law officers department, where now I go say counterpart when I then can prosecute, we they defend.
Okay.
So if you take the salary, you compare them to we own lawyers and salary, the gap is too wide. So we still trust the government, say, as them be done they give them support, then go look into that and try for create the platform for salary harmonization.
Okay, continue for the with inside the program now. We dey take some message them we una don't send this one from Victor Fode. Now we Facebook page they say, do I hear you saying that you alone we are represented more than 25 military officers on the treason charges? We now know why justice is not served and delayed. How can a single person have such numbers of cases? This is not okay.
This comments from Abraham Jallo. They say waiting wrong for worker, a good for we health. Salon man wants bike or keke for good time. Say inside in palo. And that not good for we well body. I think for this girl for do this story will play winner Lombly.
Another message on Facebook page from Abraham say the person is say Legal Aid Board, thank you for the insightful discussion as we strive to strengthen integrity, resilience, and capacity building. It's vital to ensure continued public trust and a level playing field. In view of the above, what key areas still require attention in terms of compliance and accountability in service delivery?
This other person, Mohamed Kagbo, same whistle on the KK story, they say it was an acceptable decision to the SLP. It's really difficult to access KK from Godrich to Lombly. Please, we really need an amendment from teacher Nakwari.
This one from Francis Kaikai. Now with Facebook page again they say, I have been following up on the services the Legal Aid Board has been providing to our communities across the country. I commend the leadership and team for overall excellence in performance.
These other comments from Tunde Scott, they say the once vocal Legal Aid Board is no longer what we used to know. Legal Aid should be standing up for the ordinary man, even if it involves the state or people in power. Unfortunately, that has not been the case.
Okay, because of time, we obviously not going to take all the message. We'll come over to you, Ibrahim Bangwa, for respond to the message we don't come in.
Okay, firstly, I go to the message we talk about the teasing trial. And people that we follow that trial go know say, we are, if not the best, but one of the best in providing adequate defense for people that we then be charged, with the offenses we related to the incident of the 26 November 2023. And then I go look for later particular person, say one of the people that we walk away for that trial. Now we be represent them, and then we ensure say justice prevail at the end of the day. And then the other caller the other possible text where they talk about say legal aid for the provide services irrespective of whether na state actors or people will get power. That is what we've been doing. A rather sad, perhaps you get people that we not well informed, but we stick to we mandate. We ensure say we not get any distractions. That is why we now the only, or if not the only, one of the institutions we not get politics inside our institution. We team up to it, and then they enjoy independence.
So how long you for really put this day and celebrate Legal Aid Board 10 years of existence?
Oh yes, the celebration activities and be done start first to begin the health work, and then we they on the gala, the football competition. We get 8 institutions and we participate. Yes, the very first day, 4 teams and 4 institutions and be play. We now be day before yesterday. 2 go out, two proceed because it starts from quarter-final stage, they go to the final. So two go out, two proceed. Yesterday again, 4 institutions in play, two go out, two proceed. So Tuesday next week, who they get the semi-finals when our 4 institutions they left, and then Thursday the final get for play. At the end of the day, we get trophy for the winner. By the way, the trophy now promoting the rule of law and access to justice trophy. So at the end of the day, the winner they go with the trophy with a token inside the trophy, and then you get the runner up and the third place position. Then you get some other accolade that they give to people that we do outstanding performance na the match.
Okay, well, plenty thank you to you. We be with studio guest inside this edition of the program. Good morning, salon. In name na Ibrahim Bangora, Human Resource Manager, Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board. We don't take we listen and via them through on our Legal Aid Board. Don't they do the work from 2015 to now? We don't they operate in a salon in terms of providing legal service, access to justice and human rights.
And I don't know one more thing before I go. Before the 15th, when at the D-Day, we will get we float parade. They happen from Victoria Park to Yeye Building. So listeners out there, and we clients them, members of the public, then can join we our float parade from Victoria Park to Yeye Building. We now the special day that one day we will get on the high table. Be big personalities in the country. I thank you and thanks to listeners out there.
Okay, well, plenty thank you to you again. This edition of the